Oh man, pace car's off. Drive smart there. Green flag.
Also, I think this is the first week of the late model season where we're actually racing during the day instead of at night. Makes things a little more interesting, but not really. Cars might be a little harder to drive to the middle of the corner, but it shouldn't be a big deal. One thing I have noticed this week, though, is, well, every other week so far in the season, we've been running at nighttime with dynamic weather, but the changes aren't as significant when it comes to the weather and the balance of the car at nighttime. Like, even if you have overcast in one session and clear in another at night, you don't really notice as big of a change in the balance of the car as you would, say, in the daytime. Like, I noticed a really big change in the setup from session to session in practice. Like, in one session in the daytime, it can be tight and grippy, and in another it can be really loose and just nearly sliding through every corner. I feel like I've created a pretty balanced setup for all weather conditions, though that's what I try to do every week. And in this session, it's kind of neutral, although balancing a little towards tightness on entry. In fact, I'm gonna bring the brake bias down one click for now, and we'll see where that takes us. Actually, we'll take that 2 clicks down. I think that'll work well. Track's kind of big for late models too, but it's fun. I think it fits, although it's definitely on the large side. Certainly not a short track though by any means.
Keep hanging in there, my man. I got 20 laps to go.
Really letting that right rear tire hang out. I'm just gonna try to keep that tire cool though, not slide around too much. I also tried driving a little lower earlier in the week. It was just not working out. Like typically, when you watch like the Sprint Cup guys or something race here, you always see them running a second lane from the bottom. But in iRacing, for whatever reason, because there's more progressive banking in the middle lane, it just does not work to run that second lane. So what ends up happening is just because there's more banking in that middle lane, that's where the preferred racing line is. There's literally no other reason for it than that. Now I have seen some short track cars in real life, because they do on occasion race various types of short track cars at New Hampshire in real life. I have seen them work this lane in real life, but in iRacing it is always by far the dominant lane to run that middle lane on entry. Actually, I'm going to increase the brake bias a little bit. Does feel a little slidey on entry now. There's definitely more grip available.
Michael?
What's that?
The password works. I just was missing the initial word of the password because I didn't think it started with that word, but it works now.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got that all fixed up then.
You know, the first 3 letters of the password, I skipped them and went straight to the second word.
Right.
And that's why it wasn't working, but I've got it now.
No worries, I gotcha. We can join in on this race now. You don't have a lot of time left, but you can. There you are.
Yeah, I'm coming in.
I'm 10 laps to go.
Actually, we're just past the 2/3 mark in this race. So we got a little bit of time. Not really much spotting for you to do right now, though. I'm sorry to say.
Wow, can't speak tonight. You see these 9 PM races, they're rare. I'm just gonna stay quiet.
No, go ahead.
I can't get the word out. There rarely is much spotting in these late model races. There we go, managed it.
Yeah, just not enough cars on the track usually. I think we have 9 cars. Because what happens is there are only 16 car field, so when you get like 18 cars signed up like we did in this race, the field just splits as soon as you get past 16, and it makes for really small fields, and on a large track like this, that makes the races just kind of boring.
9 cars, 7 of them within 20, actually 6 of them within 10 seconds of you. The 7th is 18 seconds from you, and the 8th and 9th are 11 and 21 laps down.
When I went to New Hampshire last year, we did actually see the ACT series run an exhibition race for 50 laps around this place. That was kind of cool to see, but they had an actual full field of 43 cars, not just 9 of us. It was a little more interesting, to say the least.
You went for the cup race?
That's right. Well, they had late models. Well, the schedule was trucks on Saturday. This is all on Saturday, by the way. It was trucks, then modifieds, which some of you have probably seen on TV before. And then they have the ACT series, which is like a Northeast late model series. And they ran them around here for 50 laps. But they actually, yeah, it was fun. The thing was, though, they actually had to cut the race short with like 5 laps to go because it got too dark. And then there was a big wreck on the backstretch, like right here where I'm passing through right now. Big wreck on the backstretch right here. Tore up about 10 cars because nobody could see where they were going with night looming.
That must have been disappointing for the drivers.
Yeah. Well, everybody wanted the race to be over. The officials actually wanted to keep going, but the spotters chimed in and said they couldn't see down the backstretch, so they had to call it quits. The drivers couldn't really see much either, supposedly. The thing was, too, they didn't count caution laps. Had they been counting caution laps, they would have been able to get that whole race in. But that's part of the rules of that series, so is what it is.
Mitch says they ran ACT this year as well. Race didn't get started until 5:30 and they got the race barely in. It was so dark out, he says.
Yeah, I believe that, considering the show I saw there last year. It was always cool to see those guys get a shot on the big stage, too. And these cars aren't exactly like those cars, but they're pretty similar. There's so many different late models, rules packages around the country, it's hard to keep track.
Don't forget your victory speech.
Woo!
You
Alright,
have to thank everyone, remember?
after the burnouts. Alright, that should allow me to get decent points for the week, at least. Always good to win. Never actually raced this car track combo before, so that was pretty interesting. Well, thank you, Clumper. Alright.
Remember to destroy the back of the car so they can't say anything in post-race inspection.
Exactly. Because we're cheating, right? Completely quiet, too, on voice chat. Nobody said a single word throughout the whole race, and I know I wasn't muted. That's a nice change of pace sometimes. I mean, there wasn't really anything to go over there, I guess. This is a Cup driver in Xfinity, this is a Cup driver in truck. So I'll tell you something that you may not know, is that a lot of these Cup drivers also run late models. Not just trucks in Xfinity, but late models as well, at many different tracks across the country. I know Matt Kenseth, for example, won, I think the Slinger Nationals, like, the day after one of the Coke 0400 races. And I know Kyle Busch used to do it a lot as well, and you'll see a lot of the Xfinity guys also do it, like Eric Jones, Chase Elliott.